10-year-old Lola has always been touched by magic. Her Mexico City home is built around a towering tree with enchanted blooms that change each season. A backyard sandbox that reveals the most unusual treasures, and mischievous chaneques that scuttle about unseen by all but her. Lola has always considered such magic an ordinary part of life, but now she must embrace the extraordinary as never before. Ever since the thing that happened, Lola's brother Alex has been sick. As his condition worsens, something is eating away at the tree, causing its bright leaves and colorful blossoms to crumble like ash. Lola is sure the two events are related, but how? Seeking a cure, she visits a grocery store oracle who tells her to follow the chaneques down one of their secret passages into a hidden kingdom. For First Chapter Friday, here is a preview of Lola by Karla Valenti. The first brick was placed the day Lola was born. It was the cornerstone upon which the entire house was built a decade ago, and given that the house sat on a ravine, always threatening to slip down that ragged slope, it was a pretty important brick. Even so, and despite its rather significant role, the brick was not the most remarkable feature of the house. In fact, aside from a small, enigmatic carving on the side of the brick that read, "Always and forever," which nobody could explain, the cornerstone was as unremarkable as all the other stones that made up the multi-level home. By the time Lola, Alex, and their parents moved into the house, this ever-important but unremarkable brick was completely hidden by pink bougainvillea, which, like everything in and around the house, followed its own set of rules and cared not one bit about what was expected of it. Within days of being planted, the wild tangle of pink flowers had spread across the front of the house, twining through the ironwork of the gates and even creeping into the neighbors' driveways. But the wild bush wasn't the most remarkable feature of Lola's house, for there was also the ghost, a friendly, vanilla-scented specter that had been around the family since Lola's big brother, Alex, was a baby. Alex swore the ghost used to play with him as a toddler, knocking over blocks and moving things on the floor, so Alex would have to learn to crawl after them. Alex said the ghost was his personal protector, and it even followed the family to their new home after Lola was born. Then, of course, there were the chaneques, nature spirits that lived in the house, whose job it was to protect all natural elements, including the tree. There really was no shortage of unusual aspects to Lola's house, but in truth, it was the tree that claimed the grandiose title of most remarkable feature. The tree had been there long before the first brick arrived. Its branches extended far and wide. Its roots dug deeper than any pylons supporting the house. And because it had been there first, the house was built around it. Building a house around a tree takes some planning. For starters, it requires a very high ceiling and a way to get massive amounts of sunshine. So the roof of Lola's house was built like a triangle. Long, slanted sheets of highly reinforced glass opened up to the sky on the side where the tree was planted. Even though the tree couldn't talk, Lola was pretty sure it was happy with this arrangement because the tree was always in bloom, no matter the weather or season. The summer months brought tiny yellow blossoms that sprouted like popcorn on every branch and filled the house with the scent of mango guava fruit. Fall was a time of magenta flowers with large velvety petals, each imprinted with a pink starburst. The petals would fall of their own accord and for no apparent reason, but at the most convenient times, like during a party when the guests were dressed in their finest and someone needed a touch of color in their hair or on their lapel. Living on a ravine in Mexico City meant the winter months were chilly. Appropriately, the tree blanketed itself in what looked like feathery snowflakes. The glittering white flowers wrapped around little fruits that glistened like they held drops of moonlight. This year the tree was late in its winter blossoms. Its branches were still heavy with the magenta blossoms of fall, though they had lost some of their sheen and colorful brightness. Lola loved the winter flowers and was eager for their return. She was often tempted to pluck one of those fruits and see what they contained, but they appeared otherworldly, almost sacred. No, she would only take what was given, and the tree did not give up its moonlight fruits. Not until spring, when the scent of snow gave way to the smell of green. Then the drop-like fruits made the tree glitter brightly in the sunshine that streamed in from overhead. Day after day, the little fruits would gather the light, bloating with all the colors of the spectrum until they were full to bursting. And burst they did. An explosion of rainbow splotches coated every inch of twig, branch, and limb, all the way down to the leathery roots that peeked out from the soil. From these colorful splotches, new leaves would sprout. So for the season of spring, the tree was like an impressionist painting and a welcome sight after the gray months that preceded it. And so it went until the weather warmed and the mango guava blossoms made their appearance once more. And this has been a preview of Lola.